off my stage.
Occasionally you say to yourself, can anybody really change? The answer is yes. The people you are going to meet today were not the best dressed. They were not the most popular. They were not the best looking when they were younger. These people all have one thing in common. They were outcast among their peers, and most of them were tormented. For what reason? For the way they looked. Today, they're going to come face to face with the people that they say made their lives miserable. They're here to say, look, I was a loser, but look at me now.
These women say they can't get over the pain of being teased because of how they looked.
He said if I got pretty and lost weight, that he would go. It was like I was so lost and I just really needed a friend.
I still don't trust men today because of it.
Today, they'll confront the guys they say made them miserable.
I am hell. Did you? He's so mean.
When you have a boyfriend, aren't they supposed to be there by your side 100%?
He was a skinny kid who got picked on by a bully.
He was on top of me, beating me, and somebody had to pull him off. I thought at least I could do was defend myself. I couldn't even do that good.
But wait till the bully sees him now. She felt ugly and alone. But one special boy took her to the prom and made her feel beautiful.
He walked me down Main Street and he held his head up and acted real proud to be with me.
She's here to thank him, but will he recognize her?
This is Jennifer. She says that when she was in high school, she was known as the weird Star Wars kid who raised guinea pigs. Jennifer, come on out. Now, you were weird. You look a very attractive, normal person to me. See?
Maybe now.
What did they do to you?
Oh, well, a lot. And it still affects me today. You know, on the outside, I may seem like I'm a completely different person, but on the inside, I'm still that same person. They were just, well, I guess it started in middle school, calling me names. They'd call me cinder block.
Cinder block?
Yeah.
What is cinder block about?
I guess because I had large breasts, this one fella thought that would be a perfect name for me. So he called me CB. Milk truck, that was another one.
Right.
Dairy Queen.
Right. What was the guy situation like?
Oh, that wasn't even in existence, you know, any boyfriends or anything. They were terrible to me, always teasing me.
Can you give me an example?
Well, yeah, one in particular, one person in high school really bothered me. He passed me a note through another girl who would tease me a lot also. And it said, you know, I really like you and I want to know if you'd go out with me.
That's why I'm teasing you. I like you. Will you go out with me?
Yeah, well,
So what did you write back?
I just looked over and I said, well, he's joking. And then, you know, the girl was like, no, he's serious. And I said, you know, well, that kind of made me feel like, well, this guy actually maybe finds something about me that he likes. And so, you know, I started getting the butterfly feeling and everything that, gosh, maybe this guy really likes me. Because he was very popular. He was in football and, you know, all the girls liked him. And then all of a sudden, when they saw that I thought it was serious, the whole class started laughing. Everyone laughed.
And what did he do?
He laughed along with it. And
what did he say?
Just, he didn't really say much of anything. He just laughed to think that I would, be, you know, think he was serious.
To think you were so dumb that you would think that he would go out with you.
Right.
Right. How did you feel knowing you'd been the victim of a cruel joke like that?
To this day, I still don't trust men.
It's still with you, and you still don't trust men. But you're a singer, and you're very beautiful.
I still don't trust men today because of it.
Let's take a good look at that picture of how you looked when Stephen saw you last. That's his name, right? You go backstage, and we'll bring Stephen on.
Stephen. Second chair, Tom. Second chair.
Hi there, Stephen. Thank you for coming. We are working on a point here, and you're one of the characters in our drama. You have not heard what has been going on. You do know that someone from high school wants to see you again. What were you like in high school?
Well, I was pretty average guy. I played sports and a little bit rambunctious and wasn't always the nicest guy, but...
You were not always the nicest guy?
No, ma'am.
What kind of things did you do?
Well, I tease people a little bit and...
Ah, okay. Does the name Milk Truck or Dairy Queen remind you of anything?
Sorry, I don't... No.
No, doesn't. Okay, do you recognize the person in the picture? Can you remember her name besides Milk Truck and Dairy Queen? Can you remember her
I'm pretty
name?
sure her name is Jennifer.
Right. Dairy Queen, can you come on now? Stephen has been married for a year, and he is a salesman for a construction company. And there's something you want to tell him.
Do you remember in high school, you passed me a note, and it said, I really like you, and would you go out with me? Do you remember that?
Now, this was 7th grade, right?
8th grade.
8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anything about it at all?
No, I honestly
Perfectly
don't
all
remember.
right.
Well, you know, the whole class was in on it, and I thought for a moment that it was serious. But then, when everyone started laughing, you know, it just devastated me, and that has stuck with me since then. It's affected everything, every relationship I've been in. I can't trust men. You know, thinking they may not be serious.
Well, I apologize for that. I never meant to have any lasting impression. Those were at 7th, 8th grade. I was a kid, trying to be cool, a little bit insecure, and trying to do one of those, you know.
Wait, he's being very honest, and he's owning it, which is a very important thing. I think, Stephen, by the way, it was interesting that your wife encouraged you to come on the show. What did your wife, why did she want you to be here today?
Well, my wife, she is a self-proclaimed nerd in high school.
Uh-huh.
And now my wife is a beauty queen. She is one of the nicest
So she
people.
really has an invested interest in all the guys who said she was a nerd.
She definitely told me that I should come face the music if I did something that affected
There you
somebody.
go. And you know what? You've been man enough to do it. We'll be right back.
He was on top of me, beating me, and somebody had to pull him off. I thought at least I could do was defend myself. I couldn't even do that good.
You know, his dress code was way off.
I'd say his dress code is still.
The character I play is Champagne. He forgives you. But Marty Garner hasn't forgave you yet.
When my next guest, Marty, was in 8th grade, he was, in his words, the biggest little geek in his school. Why? Because he was so small and so skinny that he couldn't play sports and he couldn't fit in. And according to him, he was just terrible at everything. Marty, come on out. professional wrestler with the WWF. I guess that's one of the reasons why he can get away wearing hot pink and plastic booties and all of that. Sort of be frightening to me, but I guess you can dress like that if you're a professional wrestler. Who's that skinny little guy?
Oh man, that's back in my days when I had a little nickname I came up with for myself. It was called Master G was my nickname. But yeah, I was 16 years old there, I think, and as you can see, I'm pretty geeky. So.
And who's that?
Oh man, that was years ago, as you can tell. I was a young boy there. I don't know how old, but
I think you
very
look
young.
fine. You really do.
Yeah.
This was also a problem of being adopted, and it was a problem of being poor.
Yeah.
And the kids made fun of your clothes, and then your parents got divorced.
Yeah.
You had it all, and everyone was beating you up, especially a boy in particular who made you miserable. His name is James.
Right.
Tell me about James.
Well, James he would pick at me at school because of my clothes and my shoes. And, you know, I said before that, you know, my parents were very poor and they gave me the best they could give me. And that's all I could ask for. And so I didn't go home and cry to my mom or my dad and tell them that people were picking on me because I know that'd make them feel bad. It'd break their hearts. So I didn't tell them. But I had to put up with this all the time, you know, his mouth every day. And one day in 8th grade, my parents were going through a divorce, my parents who adopted me. So, you know, I was really hurting for this thing, and it was tearing me up. And both were going to get remarried in December, you know, that year, and it was tearing me to pieces. So James and me, he was picking on me again one day, and I said, look, my mom bought this outfit. Don't pick on me. And, you know, I hate to sound like a wimp on national TV, but I shoved James, and he pushed me over some desk, and one thing led to another, and he was on top of me, beating me, and somebody had to pull him off, you know. And that tore me up, too, because I wanted to be somebody, and I thought at least I could do was defend myself. I couldn't even do that good, you know, so I was like, well, James actually helped me. He inspired me, you know, and that's why I became a professional wrestler, I think.
You go off and we'll bring him on. Hi, James.
Hello.
Does this picture ring a bell? Any kind of a bell?
Yeah,
Who's that?
that's Marty Garner.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Marty Garner?
Huh?
Whatever happened to him?
You tell me. I don't know.
You've never seen
we
him?
were pretty good friends.
And you haven't seen him or heard from him since? He does look geeky to me.
Oh, well, you know, his dress code was way off. It was.
I'll tell you why we're laughing. I don't think anything has changed. I'd say his dress code is still way off.
Way off.
Way out there in the stratosphere. Marty, since you haven't changed your dress code, come on out. Say his threads are still a little off?
Yeah, what is it?
Beats the heck out of me. I don't dress that way.
I like the color.
Do you?
Very much so.
I think maybe, you better ask him why
You got
he's in
bigger,
plastic.
man.
Thank you. A little bit.
And the hair.
Yeah. I'm a professional wrestler now, man. Hey, I I just want to say something to you, man. You know, back in the days, man, I knew what to wear, but I couldn't wear it. My family was poor. We didn't have the stuff that some people did. And like I said before, my parents gave me the best they knew how to give me. And that's all I could ask for. And, you know, God bless them for it. But, you know, people like you were picking on me all the time. And it really hurt me, man. It's like I told them, the character I play is champagne. He forgives you. But Marty Garner hadn't forgave you yet. I mean, Marty Garner has thought about this for years. And, I mean, it touched me emotionally deep down, man. And like I said, I don't want to sound like a wimp either. But, you know, I just wanted a closure to it, man, and I just want to know why, because that day you beat me down in 8th grade or knocked me over the desk. I mean, that was traumatic for me, man. It really hurt me, man, and I thought about that forever, and I thought at least I could do was fight, and I couldn't do that, you know, and you took me there, too, so. And I'd like to thank you, because if it hadn't been for you doing that, it wouldn't have made me become a professional wrestler.
We'll be right back.
He walked me down Main Street and he held his head up and acted real proud to be with me.
You are the fight. Get off my stage.
My next guest, it should be no surprise, describes her, since that's what we're doing on the show, describes herself as kind of a fat, ugly geek when she was in high school. And she was picked on constantly because she was the nerdy, smart girl, unattractive, overweight, and the main thing was her clothes. So, Nancy, could you come on out and show us the new Nancy? Totally different. Now, Nancy has told us a story like the other ladies have told us a story, and how this has affected their whole lives. And she even had to switch schools, and she was so poor that the clothes just looked awful, really awful. And you know how kids are about clothes. You said, however, there was one moment, as there was with all our other guests, one moment that made an enormous difference. There was a prom, and you wanted to go to that prom. Was it a girls invite boys or a boys invite girls or a free-for-all?
What it was a girl-asked guy, and there was one particular guy in school that I had a major crush on. And
was he the most popular guy in school?
You could say he was the most popular. He was the president of this junior class at that time.
Oh, well, okay.
It was 3 months in advance, and I decided I was going to take the step and ask this guy out. I mean, what did I have to lose? I didn't feel good about myself. I couldn't possibly feel any worse, so I thought I would go ahead and ask him, and I did. I went ahead and did it, and he took a few days to get back to me, and I probably bit all my nails off by that point, but he came back and he said he would go.
Okay,
and I was elated.
Now, can you tell me what kind of dress it was?
It was supposed to be a full-length dress. It was a little off the shoulders just to make me feel a little bit sexy, and by the time it came, it was only a couple of hours before the prom, and it didn't fit me. It was too short. And in those days, the shorter, you know, mid-length was not
Did it look awful?
I cried. He showed up, though. He showed up. He looked at me. He did not say a word about my dress. He told me I looked beautiful, put the corsage on me. I just remember I probably was smiling so much my teeth hurt. And we went off on our date after my mother took a couple of pictures. He walked me down Main Street and he held his head up and acted real proud to be with me.
Her prom was the most important night of her entire high school career. Okay, you go backstage. Here's a lady who's got a mission. She's got to tell a guy something. She had her one shot at a reunion, and he was just so busy.
Come on around. Come on in. Take the second chair for me.
This is John. Hi, John.
How you
John's 34 years old. John was very athletic in high school. Were you a jock?
Somewhat. Played a little basketball, a little track.
Okay, people tell me that you were extremely popular and special, and you say I didn't think so. You went to college, you went to law school, you're now an attorney in Arizona,
That's correct.
and you are currently single.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, does that picture ring a bell? Kind of?
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. Maybe it's unfair because I think she was a little younger there.
Yeah.
Could you attach a name to that picture? Okay, I've got another picture for you. Take a look at that.
Yeah.
Kind of damaging evidence, isn't
Yeah.
it? There we are.
That's me.
I know. I know that that's you. I want to know who that is.
That's Nancy.
Good going, Nancy. What do you remember about Nancy?
She seemed nice.
Nice?
Yeah, kind, quiet.
Right.
She asked me on that for the prom. I just said yeah.
Okay. This is not bad. I'm setting you up. It's not bad. Nancy, come on out. John, Nancy is, you do not have to worry. Nancy is beautiful. She's a happily married lady. She has 3 children.
Excellent.
She is the first in her family to graduate teacher's school. She is doing all right. And you're not going to believe this, but in a way, she owes it all to you. Do you want to tell him why?
Yes, hopefully without crying. Before you took me to the prom, sorry, I didn't feel very good about myself. And because you did that and you were so nice to me, it just made all the difference in the world, and I just want to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
I was flat-chested and I was chubby and I had...
Oh, dear.
I was so lost and I just really needed a friend.
My next guest says she was teased throughout her childhood because of how she looked. By the time she got to high school, she was 6 feet tall. She was overweight, so there's another one, and the kids called her Big Bird and Disco Duck. Faith, can we see what has happened to you now, how you look today? Wow, what a pretty lady you are.
Thank you, Sally.
Can you tell me a little bit about your grandparents who were wonderful people?
Yeah, they were wonderful people, but they were so set back from their time.
Did kids tease you because your grandparents were Italian?
Yeah, I got that a lot. And my grandmother, she was a beautiful person on the inside, and she had a mole on her lip, and kids would put black markers on their lips, and they would walk around, they would act like her, they would talk like her, and it hurt real bad. And I'm pregnant now, and I'm gonna name my son after my grandfather.
Now, through all of this being teased for being Italian, there was one person you thought was your friend. Tell me about her.
Cecilia. We went to the same Catholic school from 1st grade through 8th grade, and around the the summer between 8th and 9th grade, I got braces. And I don't mean braces, I mean the headgear braces. I mean, they were awful. And they were all getting into puberty, boys and everything. And we'd go to the malls and I'd get left. They'd leave me because the boys would laugh at me, or they'd pop the back of my headgear, you know, and I was flat-chested and I was chubby and I had short hair. I mean, it was
You're
awful.
making out a terrible mess.
This picture doesn't even show
Now,
half of it.
The two girls were very close friends, but then something happened. The friend began to blossom. You know how they say the ugly duckling turns into a beautiful swan? You weren't a swan.
At all.
She became the swan. So what did she do to you?
She would just leave me behind on things.
Why did you want her to come to the show today? What do you need to find out?
I need to know just why. I mean, to let her know how bad it hurt.
Okay.
And to let her know, I think that if she would have stayed my friend, you know, if she'd have just been there for me, I wouldn't have went through my first marriage. It was awful. It was a lot of physical abuse, a lot of mental abuse, drugs. And I've been clean for 7 years, and I'm doing road trips.
So this is sort of tying it all up in knots, right? In a nice, neat bow. You go hide backstage, and we'll bring her out. Cecilia?
Hi.
Hi, hon. You do not know who is coming to the show, but you went to, did you go to private school?
Yes.
Was it Catholic school?
Yes.
Were you popular in school?
Among my peers, I mean, I was ordinary, average.
Okay. Do you recognize the person in this picture?
Yes.
Do you
That's
know?
a very old picture, yes.
Yes, it is. Do you know her name?
Yes.
What's her name?
Faith Economy.
Right. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Faith.
This is way back in elementary school. We grew up, and I think it was towards maybe 6th through 8th grade that we gotten close. In 8th grade, we graduated and moved on.
Faith, come on out. Okay, Faye. By the way, what do you think of her appearance?
That's nice. You look great, like your mom.
Oh, she looks beautiful. She's always been beautiful.
Always been
Always.
Yeah, right.
All right. Faith, what do you want us to talk to her?
Well, we were like best friends all through school. And
Take your time, Faith.
What's wrong?
knew when my grandmother died that I really needed a friend there, you know, and I didn't have anybody. And it was just like everything from junior high out, like things we used to laugh about, I laughed too, but they weren't really funny. It was a lot of things that happened in junior high that just stuck with me throughout life, like the slumber parties and stuff, and we'd have fun, but then it's like afterwards, everyone would come and tell me it was just a big joke that I was there and how they laughed at my grandmother, and it was like I was so lost and I just really needed a friend.
Is yours a different story? Do you see things a different way? Right. Tell me how you see things.
Back in elementary school, yeah, we joked around with her because there was a lot of lies told by her.
Okay.
And that could have, you know, dealing with, and now I understand for the job I have, why? Because she was living with her grandmother. She wasn't living with her, you know, natural parents like everybody else back then. Okay. No, that you're young then, and kids make mistakes. They do tease and all of that. That's way back in elementary school.
Okay. We'll be right back.
He said if I got pretty and lost weight, that he would go. Why in the hell did you be so mean?
You are the five. Get off my stage.
Tammy was called names like Pimple Face and then Fat Albert by her classmates. She says that junior high and high school for her were a living hell, but that was 10 years ago. Tammy, let's see if anyone can really change. Come on out. Is that you?
Yeah.
No, that's the old Tammy. Tammy, a group of kids, we were listening to how, was it really that bad, hon?
Oh, yeah.
It was. A group of kids convinced you to ask one of the most popular boys to the homecoming dance?
Yes.
Could you do it if you were not popular?
I did it.
What happened?
Yeah.
This is hard, isn't it? Are you angry at me for bringing back bad memories?
No.
No? But you're not that girl anymore, Tammy.
He said if I got pretty and lost weight, that he would go. And then he turned around and said, when pigs can fly. And he was laughing and he said, why don't I take a trip somewhere on a plane?
And that's what he said to you.
Oh, yeah. But I literally hate him. I really do. Because...
But isn't the best revenge that... How much weight have you lost?
Well, I'm 130 now.
Yeah. From 210?
Yeah.
Now, when you were going through all of this, was your family supportive?
No, my brother was really popular. I'm the second of four. Okay. My brother was like super, super popular, and there I was. And then I have two younger sisters.
What do you see, Tammy, in that picture? I mean, what do you see in her?
Real unhappy.
There was one person you told us you'd like to see today so they could see how you look.
Oh, yes.
Who's this?
His name's Travis Price.
Yes?
Oh, he was the hottest. He was so fine. So fine.
Where was this fine person? School?
He was in high school, and he was really popular. And
did you have a major crush on him?
Oh, God, oh, honey, I would have gave my left arm for that man.
Really?
Yes.
Did you ever let him know that?
I told him he was really cute and really nice.
And what did he say?
You're such a nice person. He gave me a ride to the mall one day, and then he told me not to tell anyone.
Okay. He's been in another part of the building. He does not know that you're here. You know there's a chance that he will not know who you are.
Yeah, I do know that.
Okay. Are you going to be insulted? This is always scary stuff, Tammy, when we do this.
I'm going to be hurt, but then, you know what?
Okay. Hey, just remember that. You go backstage and hide. I'm going to bring Travis out.
Come on up this way, Travis.
Hello, Travis. Come on, sit down. I've just been told you're from Vancouver.
Yes, I am.
It's one of my favorite places, so you come from a very beautiful place. You have no idea who's here to surprise you.
Not at all.
Tell me if you know who this person is.
Okay.
There's the picture.
I think so.
Who is it?
I can't put the name in the face, but the
Okay,
face looks familiar.
And somebody you went to school with?
Yes.
Could it be? Well, this person looks, of course, a lot different now. Tammy, come on out and let's show Travis your new look. Now, Travis, this is not to embarrass you, but to tell you something you don't know about your past. This young lady has lost 80 pounds. She has contacts. She has things called a hair weave. She, telling us all, you know that, right? Telling us all about it. But here's what you don't know. You were the hottest guy in high school, and you grow up, you live your life, and one day a lady shows up on television looking good and saying, I was crazy for you.
She looks good.
Yes, she does. Now, she says that there was one time when you gave her a ride to the mall. Do you remember giving her a ride to the mall? I mean, you have to tell the truth. If you don't, it's fine.
It's okay, it's age.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
No. What would you like to say to him, Tammy?
Why in the hell did you be so mean? Why would you talk to me outside of school, but in school you wouldn't? When I said hi, you just right by me.
Honestly, Tammy, if I had done that when I was a kid, you know, I was a kid. I do not recall doing that, but I will take the blame for it if it's affected you this much.
I think that's a very gentlemanly thing to do, don't you? We'll be right back.
When you have a boyfriend, aren't they supposed to be there by your side 100%? Yeah.
We received a letter from a young girl named Melissa, and it really touched our hearts. Here's what Melissa wrote.
Dear Sally, I was a tall, skinny kid who wore big purple glasses. I was a tomboy and played sports so I could fit in, but nothing ever worked. The worst part was that I grew up in an all-white town and I am biracial. Well, today I know I'm a beautiful person inside and out, but will never forget the pain of other people making me feel like I was ugly.
Now that little girl was Melissa way back in junior high. Let's take a look at Melissa now. Wow, Melissa.
Hi.
You are not chubby, but you are not scrawny.
Not anymore.
Right. Melissa, by the way, works for Hooters now, so something else. You told us today that as a kid you were teased so badly that you really just wanted to disappear.
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of problems because I grew up in an all-white neighborhood, and I was the only black person in my neighborhood. My whole family was white, and it was hard to explain to kids, you know, this is not my fault. I mean, I can't do anything
Right,
to
I
change
am
my
what
color.
I am.
Right.
And how did you change? You played sports to fit in?
Yeah,
you tried all this?
I tried out for cheerleading. I played sports. I played basketball and volleyball, and it just seemed like every time, you know, I turned around to fit in, they would just do something to make me feel even worse. And we had one day at school where they bought slaves, where the basketball players would go out and they would raffle off or whatever, and they made me dress up like Aunt Jemima. And
see, yours was a case of real prejudice.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't it? Of real discrimination.
Yes.
And we won't even use the names that they called you.
Yeah.
Because we don't use words like that. Was there anyone in particular that gave you a hard time?
Yes, there was this guy named Chris. He was a jock. He played football, and he went around along with the rest of the gang, calling me Muley, and just Muley. And he told me I was stupid because he got better grades than me, and I was in the lower part of my class because I had just moved, and he just would tell me I was stupid all the time.
We are going to send you backstage, and we're going to bring Chris out.
Kevin, he'll take care of you.
Come on, Kevin. Take the first chair, okay? First chair.
I don't know. We have to ask him. No, Chris? There you
Hello.
go. Hi. Thank you for coming to the show today. I know you have no idea
Exactly.
Right? Do you recognize the person in this picture?
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
Melissa Ogden.
Very good. What do you remember about her?
She is a girl that I dated in high school.
You had good taste back then.
Mm-hmm.
You have great taste now. Would you come on out and let me show him what we're talking about? Would you have recognized her?
Probably not.
No.
Probably
done
not.
well, right?
Yes.
What do you want to tell Chris?
I just wanted to tell you that, you know, when we were in school, everybody made fun of me, calling me Muley.
And what else?
And you told me I was stupid because you were smarter than me. And you just hurt my feelings, really. I mean, you just...
Does he get any points for even the fact that he was dating you at all and that he looked at you as a person?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, granted, he did, I mean, he did do things for me, but it still really hurt me that he didn't stick up for me, especially when these people did make fun of me, you know? I mean, when you have a boyfriend, aren't they supposed to be there by your side 100%? You know?
We'll be right back.
Since the show, Marty and James have spoken at least once a week and have become close friends. They're starting up a basketball league together and have made plans to take their girlfriends on a double date. Marty also said that since he's regained his confidence, he is now pursuing his dream to pose in Playgirl magazine.
So many people are carrying those scars from their childhood. And I guess the answer is that somehow or another you can get it together to let it go and go on from there. And if you want to talk about it, we're at the website, and we'll see you next time.
Get off my stage!